All right, guys, here we go. We got another questions with the coaches. Once again, joined by Coach Jason and Coach Vincent. Morning, guys.
Morning.
So, guys, today our question is, who was your favorite swimmer growing up? So, I think we've all got one. I know I've got mine. So I'll start with you, Jason. Well, who was your favorite swimmer growing up? And if you can tell us maybe why, or if there's a reason behind that swimmer being your favorite swimmer.
So I'm kind of bad. I never really had anyone like I idolized or like looked up to growing up as a kid. I was an awful swimmer. That's just how I was in general, though. Like, I never really had people like put on a pedestal that I was like, oh, I want to be that guy. But if I had to pick one, it would have had to be Mark Spitz. Even though like he was way before my time. The only reason why is because back when I started to get a little bit better at swimming when I was younger, my coach saw that and he's like, hey, I have this book for you on Mark Spitz. I want you to read it. And I was like, I don't know who that is, but sure, why not? And I just remember reading it, and it was just so interesting going through his life and like starting off from his career and like how he got into it, like how much he loves swimming. I was like, oh, okay, this is quite interesting. So then I got really into the book when I read it, and then I don't know. So yeah, he was the one that was in my mind a lot. None of these fancy new swimmers like Michael Phelps.
Did he inspire you to grow your mustache?
It is looking a little Mark Spitzy, isn't it? I think my favorite is looking at the old pictures of them when they swam. It's like no cap, no goggles, like a loose Speedo, and they're all rocking mustaches.
Oh yeah, they all look like bears.
I think my favorite thing is, though, there was definitely a picture in there. It's like behind the blocks before the race, they're all just dragging a cigarette.
Oh, no.
And you're like, oh, my God, what was sports back then?
Yeah, what was going on in 1972? It's just so awful, right?
Oh, but yeah, I know. I loved seeing that. It was hilarious to look at and see how different it is from then to now.
Yeah, thank goodness things have evolved and changed. Right? Good God, that's so gross. That's a good one. I like that. Have you ever just quick question, follow up. Have you ever gone back and on YouTube, I think you can find his races and stuff. Have you ever gone back and actually watched him race?
No, I was too young to like look into that, but I think I might watch some now.
Yeah, I think you got a homework assignment now to go back and watch some Mark Spitz races. It's pretty cool to watch.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Awesome. Vincent, how about you? You're not going to go with some new age guy that like everyone loves, are you?
No, not at all. Like there's I'm going completely off the board here. Some guy from the States. I think his name is Michael and his last name is Phelps.
Never heard of him.
I thought it was Mikael, but okay, Michael.
Yeah,
that makes more sense.
Different pronunciations. But yeah, like totally the cliche answer. But I mean, I have a small picture of him posted on my wall because I think I wasn't a very big swimming fan at all. I think I was similar to Jason when I was growing up in swimming. I didn't really care to watch swimming very much at all. I mean, and now I'm like the biggest swim fan ever. So, but when I was younger, I really remember when I started becoming like a fan, and of course it was during 2008 because everyone knew it was that was the biggest moment. But like leading up to it, I had a couple of buddies who were a little bit older who watched swimming a little bit more, who kind of really idolized Michael Phelps and like got his speed socket goggles, like bought his goggles because his picture was on the case. And then, of course, like they're convincing me, like, oh, these are the best goggles because Michael Phelps wears them. So, of course, I wore those goggles too. And then I remember in 2008, we were doing it was summer swimming provincials in trail, and I think that's right, Jason? I don't know.
I think so.
One of those. It was one of those years, and what happened was because it kind of the time of provincials coincided with the Olympics. They had this giant projector broadcasting all of his races, and like so in between your events or whatever, there's like this crowd of people gathered around this like tent with this projector of his races, right? And we'd all be so stoked about it. And I think at that point I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Like I'm now a swimming fan, and so everyone loves that he won his 8 gold medals and broke all the world records, but like it was really that year where I decided I really started following the sport a lot more. And he was the one who got me into it. As cliche as that might be, he is the superstar, but he is the guy, and he's the one that inspired me.
Nice.
That's a great answer.
I think a lot of people were inspired by him, and there's no shame in that. I mean, if you think about when you were born and the generation you grew up in, like he was the star, right?
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely. So for me, it's interesting. Like when it comes to sports idols, I didn't do well when I was really young. I was always a big sports fan, and uh, when I was really young, I swam breaststroke. So I loved Victor Davis. He's not my favorite swimmer. He wasn't the one that inspired me. I happened to meet him at the '88 Olympic trials, but in '88 he didn't swim well. In '88
Right.
I was really young, and I remember I went down and I was able to see him and I asked him for his autograph, and he wasn't nice. Would be an understatement. And I came back and I remember going up to my mom. She's like, "Well, how did it go?" And I said, "Mom, what do these words mean?" And they were not
Oh,
PG
no.
words. And the thing that was messed up, guys, is I was like 9 years old, 8 or 9 years old when I met him, and it was just so it wasn't a good experience. But to be honest, my favorite swimmer growing up, I just felt like I needed to throw this story in because it was like, wow, that was pretty crazy. But my favorite swimmer growing up was Pablo Morales, and I don't
Okay.
even know if you guys know who Pablo Morales is, but
Nope.
Good name.
it was just like I love the stories of perseverance and coming back. And Pablo Morales was just he was old school, guys. Like no cap, no goggles, speedo. Like that's how the guy raced. So a little backstory: in 1984, U.S. trials, he breaks the world record 100 fly. And I love the 100 fly. I wasn't a great 100 flyer, but I loved the 100 fly when I was a kid. I just
That's
thought cool event, you know. So Pablo Morales breaks the world record in '84. They're hosting the Olympics, and then he gets beat, wins a silver medal. But then he's unbeatable for the next few years. And you get to '88, and like this guy's going, he's going to win the gold medal. Boom, it's going to be his moment. And he ends up third at trials. Doesn't make the Olympic team for the
Wow.
U.S. So he misses the Olympics in '88. Retires. He's at Cornell Law School for I believe like 3 years, and then decides, you know what, I'm not done yet. Comes out of retirement, I think a year and a half to go before the '92 Olympics in Barcelona. Gets back, trains, makes the Olympic team. Everyone's like, oh, great story. And then I think he's the only dude. He's got a brush cut. It's not even like big. It's like just a brush cut hair, no goggles, speedo. He's at the Olympics '92 and he wins the gold medal in the 100 fly.
Wow.
Cool race, just cool moment. And at the time I was 13 and I loved the guy and I just loved the story. And there was a great video kind of montage that NBC did at the time with like Bruce Springsteen singing and like a lot of like the story and stuff. And that was kind of new, that kind of stuff for me. And he was great. So anybody's a chance to go back and look at some YouTube clips of Pablo Ross. I know you can find the 9200 fly. I guarantee you can find a lot of the stuff from the 80s now, but for anybody watching, go check it out. He was old school and he was darn fast back. I think in '84 when he won the silver medal. He was like 53.3 or 53.2 in the 100 fly back then,
Wow.
right? Like they weren't doing underwater
In a
dolphin kicks, and
speedo.
they didn't have full leg suits or any of that. So like this is like just old school swimming. So it's pretty interesting stuff. But yeah, anyway, those are our kind of favorite swimmers growing up that inspired or motivated us. So thanks for the question once again, and keep the questions coming. We'll keep answering them, and we'll see you guys again next time. Thanks, guys.